Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you some more player-on-player action in the non-pornographic kind of Dark Souls. And this is Anolondo Invasions, and I'm not too sure who this guy is because his name wasn't in the start. And that is not a conscious decision, that's probably just a capture problem. This guy starts firing spells at me. And anybody wondering why I don't edit out the names of the people that I fight, it's just completely for the honesty value. Like, I want people to see the bitches, I want people to see the gankers, and I want people to see the guys who are good, as this guy hits me with a massive lag smack, because, you know, that hit me. And he then proceeds to swing the sword like a boss in his full havels, because we're up against a good player. Yeah, I don't see the point in hiding the names, because at the end of the day, you know, it's one of those things where people deserve what they get, and if you act like a bitch and I capture it, I'm going to display it in all your bitchy glory. As this guy flasks and ruins the duel, because, you know, that's what people do on this game, and I really need to get into the habit of throwing Lloyd's talismans, but you've got to manually aim them, and I suck dick at manually aiming. He comes really close to dying there, but chugs again. Oh, why was that not a successful parry? That is it. That is literally it. It must be the stairs. We were on some kind of fucking stairs, and the programming on this game is, you know, as soon as some stairs turn up, it's like kryptonite, it's like the agents off the Matrix, everybody starts crying. Just ridiculous. And he beats me. Further proving the best man does not necessarily win. And then I'm in this guy's world, and this guy is a trooper. Not only is he wearing very similar armour to me, but his shield is a bone skeleton shield, which I never ever see, so just for that alone this guy is a boss and should be respected, as he's flipping around with a massive sword and throwing pyromancers at me. I don't know what that sword is, I can't quite tell if it's like a dragon great sword. I believe it's the one you get for chopping off the dragon's tail. This guy does not have a lot of life, so he's definitely not gouging on vitality, which is extremely refreshing, because I rarely stab somebody with a rapier and see a lot of damage. Unless I do a backstab like I did just then. And yes, when I use the rapier, I generally use the hornet ring. But it's okay, guys, because I'm wearing pointy shoes. This is the Demon Ruins. I've had a lot of fun invading this area. Yesterday, I invaded and it was nothing but people wanting to PvP, and I had some interesting fights with some cool guys. It kind of sounds like a gay rave, doesn't it? You know, I had some really cool times with some super lads. Oh yeah. It's nothing of the kind, just cool people who want to play fair. Couple of bitches, but then bitches be everywhere. And I do believe that, you know, PvP on Dark Souls should come with free tampons, because the community is full of pussies, but there's nothing we can do about that except for beat them and shame them. And this guy, watch this. Look at that for a player. Doesn't even try and engage, doesn't even try and bow, just straight in at my back. This dude is a fucking pro. If I was half as good as this guy, I might actually win sometimes. But he's obviously not too good when it comes to telling when someone's using a pyromancy, hence why he didn't interrupt me by just mashing the R1. And I point him down because the guy's a bitch. But that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people that do that. And it is ripe with that kind of bullshit. So we're now in the forest, as you can tell. Much more greenery. I'm still running this slightly low poise. I think my poise is 44, so I can take quite a lot of stuff, but anything two-handed is probably going to mess me up. And I didn't notice it so much on this build because I'm using the helmet, one of the, I think it's the Elite Knight helm, so it adds about 5 or 8 poise. It's not too great, but it's enough to bump me up. As soon as I changed it to the Dusk Crown so that I could get gankers with Chaos Storm, that's when I noticed that my poise was a little bit low. But I think this guy's waiting around for PvP people, and he bows, I bow. I can already tell he's wearing heavy armour. I can't quite tell how heavy it is. I think he's using the Ornstein set, so it's not too heavy. He's also got a Black Knight sword, I think. Oh no, sorry, that's a Claymore. And he's two-handing it, and was that a straight hit on him? We'll soon find out. But I think this guy is high level, because I don't think I'm doing too much damage, but we'll find out if I get a clean hit off. And when somebody starts spamming parry, that's when they know that they can comfortably take your best shot. And this is usually the time when you should kick people. But the rapiers have this ridiculous backstepping knock attack. That, what I just did then. And it's a pain in the ass. Because the kick is so much more useful, that's just stylish and pointless. And what's going to happen here is, because this guy knows I can't damage him, he's just going to spam parry, and eventually he's going to get one. Because this weapon will not kick. And I suck, so that helps too. So I'm poking away, I'm doing 90 damage on a clean hit. 90 damage. This guy might have maybe 2,500 life, and I'm doing 90 damage. So I charge the Chaos Storm. It sets him on fire, but it's a lag fire, so it doesn't actually do that much damage. And this is all he does now, guys. This is not much of a fight. This is some guy trying to parry me, and it's me inevitably getting parried. And that's not a detriment to him as a player, because he's probably level 300. He might be more. I've run into people level 500, and as you can see, I'm sending him a message, because I know he's high level. There's no way he can't be high level. But I'm not putting any of the messages in anymore, because they made the videos longer than they needed to be. And I've got a pretty good memory for stuff, so I can just tell you it instead of showing it, because there was some novelty to seeing me typing angry messages, but you know, I can only be funny for so many times, and it gets to a point where you're going to expect it, and there's only so many metaphors with a cock in the mouth I can do without it becoming redundant. But we're back in the catacombs, because my patience with invading on this game is non-existent. If I don't get evasions, you know, within 5 minutes, I'll move, because the game's not as populated as it used to be. And sometimes you'll just get thrown in against the same people, and by the same people I mean, you know, the guy that's just beat you, who's 300 levels higher than you, who's got, you know, all the cheap gear on, and it's just not a build that you're set up to fight efficiently. As this dragon gets attacked by a skeleton, which is pretty funny. But I do the bow to show that I'm not a douchebag. He flasks to get his life back, and I think he bows as well. There we go. 2 bows, as Apollo Creed says, ding dong. Or ding ding. And he uses his grass as well. I attack him at the end of the grass, so you could call it a little cheap. But this guy doesn't care. Watch this. Stamina for days. This guy is swinging that great sword of Artorias like it's his job. And I think he's going to hit me with that. So I need to speak about that, guys. That move, those moves that have long lines of any of the heavy attacks are extremely easy to see coming, and they're extremely easy to counter in the main game. PvP, you never know how much lag you've got, so I have a very hard time punishing them like I did just then, because sometimes you'll get dead angled, other times it'll be fluent bullshit, it'll be nowhere near you and you'll take damage, and it sucks, it really does, because it forces you to play tentatively when you could be aggressive and you could get an advantage, and all because of, you know, From Software's inability to build a decent online infrastructure. We have to suffer. And they've got no intentions of putting dedicated servers in, because they have no fucking idea how to do it. So it's not something that's going to fix. And, you know, until we all, you know, live in Korea because they've taken over the world and we've all got super internet, there's really nothing you can do. Because regardless of how good your internet is, you could be up against some guy whose internet's held together by a bunch of hamsters, you know, chewing on a cord. You never know who you're going up against. It could be fucking Peso in Bolivia, whose internet connection, you know, is almost as old as his father's beard. It's just ridiculous. But this is a guy using a Great Scythe in Dark Anolondo, so he's practicing probably his no lock-on combat, because this is the best place to do it. And he buffs it, which I'm not a big fan of buffs. It's a legitimate tactic. I just think it's cheap. And I'm probably going to try and parry, and it's probably going to cost me, as he pulls out a washing pole, which is an interesting setup, and then he breaks my guard, because like I say, my poise is kind of lacking, and he's building the bleed up. That right there is another one of those opportunities where, if that had been them, I would have been backstabbed, but because this isn't one-to-one, he was probably already attacking me, and I die for it. But, you know, there is knowledge to be learned in defeat, so I'm never all that mad in a 1v1, it's just when it's a gank when it pisses me off. But thanks for watching, and you take care now.